All right, my name is Dr. John Pollard, and I'm here with my good friend Jordan Zaweden. Hope I pronounced that right. And we're going to talk about self-parenting. He's a intermediate practitioner, and my idea of this video is for him to just share his experience as a practitioner for people on YouTube to try to figure out if they want to practice self-parenting or not. So, any thoughts?
Sounds good to me. Go ahead. You can ask away,
All
and
right.
I'd love to give any insight I can.
All right. Do you know how long you've been practicing?
I have been practicing for a little over 3 years.
And can you give a short summation of what's happened in those 3 years as far as your self-parenting?
Sure. Yeah, I feel that, self-parenting, I've been, going through a tremendous amount of growth as an individual. I was kind of in a tougher spot when I first started, and now I'm moving into a much better place for myself, my family, those around me. And I feel that self-parenting was, through that process has been a major catalyst for positive change and a major catalyst for me understanding my experience much better and being kind to myself during the process of growth and change, which can often be something that people struggle with.
What's your sense of the half-hour self-parenting session that you have every morning? You're there, right?
Yes.
Was that hard?
I think, at first it was a little bit challenging for sure. I mean, when you start any new habit, it's always a challenge. That could be exercise, it could be, eating well, but and self-parenting is no different in my opinion. But once you set, a goal for yourself, maybe a certain period of time, 30 days, 40 days of doing it, it becomes something that varies, easily integrates into your routine. And once you do that, it actually becomes something you look forward to. So I find that my days are significantly different when I do not self-parent, which I do miss occasionally, but that, that's life. I know. But my days are significantly different when I do that. So now it's a wonderful habit that I can take with me, and it helps to again clarify a lot of what's going on in my day-to-day life, for things that would have otherwise gone unnoticed, or things that I would have overlooked. Is oftentimes they come into my awareness, and I'm able to make really solid decisions about them. So I'm very, thankful for having that as a piece of stability within my life and schedule.
Do you have any specific examples of that recently, just off the cuff, where inner child and inner parent were definitely, not in sync, and then you kind of went, ooh, and then
I would say there are a couple things. Sometimes with travel, there's a challenge. I'd say that's a somewhat recurring challenge is travel accommodations. Often I have one part of me that really wants to be, like as frugal as possible, and wants to be close and in on the action, and then the other part of me really wants to still consider my self-care, and still make sure that I'm, keep treating myself well during times of travel. And so I think those types of disparities are something that are very now habitually resolved and pretty much instantly resolved, but prior did cause me a lot of stress, did cause me a lot of anxiety. And now they don't really anymore, which is great because I have a systematic approach to resolving a lot of those challenges and those disparities with things to do with travel. And it's like that with many other things. I don't know, gift giving, smaller, more significant, things, more seemingly less significant things, but they do have a big impact on, the way that you're perceived by others, the way that you perceive yourself with relation to others. And it's really great to have again, a systematic approach for addressing those types of internal disparities or arguments.
Yeah, I guess we call those inner conflicts.
Ah, yes,
They're very, very common. People don't understand how often they have an inner conflict. So part of the intro, the beginner steps, is learning to become aware of your body when it's freaking out and your inner parents trying to jam something through to get it over with, and your child's going, "No, no, don't do that." And you realize, oh, inner conflict, and then you work the steps. So, and then, but you're at a point now where you don't have those anymore. Like
no, very, very rarely. And when I
very, very
do have them, yeah, when I do have them, it's pretty quick. I just, take a notebook out and write them down, and then it pretty much resolves
good.
itself immediately.
And
So
that,
yeah.
yeah, and that is a promise of self-parenting. Once you get to intermediate, inner conflicts really are, they're gone. What else can we say? Do you remember what it was like to read the Yellow Book when you first started? Do you remember anything about that?
I thought it was yeah, it was pretty simple, I thought. I mean, it was a simple concept. I didn't realize, I think, how much depth at the time was incorporated in those pages. But yeah, it was fun. It was engaging. It was very, it was easy. I read it in, I don't know. I wasn't even an avid reader at the time, and I read it in probably 2 or 3 days. So it wasn't like it was something that was super challenging to read, and it was very easy to digest. And I remember it also had, an introduction to the daily sessions at the end of the book. And I thought those were very easy and accessible and very clear with how to do it. Very, process was very, a step-by-step process was provided. And that was really amazing for me to be able to have that as just something I could try out for myself, see if I really liked it, and then decided if I wanted to continue on with the practice as well.
How did you find out about self-parenting?
I found out about self-parenting through I was doing therapy at the time, and they actually
Uh,
we recognized, yeah, we recognized that the practice of self-parenting. I know there's a lot of other modalities that are self-parenting modalities that are out there. Self-parenting was something that I needed to engage in, um, and together with my therapist, we actually ended up finding this particular self-parenting program. I felt after having, doing my due diligence with the other ones that this one had by far the most merit. I felt that it had by far the most, predicted that it would be the most effective. So I chose this one, and the rest is history. So now here I am, 3 years later, 3.5 years later, talking about it.
So, what else might we say if we're just gonna not talk too long? That what would you say to a YouTuber watching this video other than buy the book, buy the book, buy the book?
Um, Yeah, I would say it's a very, very profound practice, and it has a tremendous amount of depth, and it's very gentle in the way that it's presented across the life cycle. Um, it There may be some challenges at first. I completely hear you that there would be some challenges. For me, there were definitely some challenges at first with a stubbornness. I'm very stubborn as a person. Um, I'm very stubborn as a person. So for me, it was definitely something that, sorry, I'm just getting a phone call. 1 second. Let me,
Oh
no,
my God.
no, that's right. Okay. Yes. No. So, I'm very stubborn as a person. So I hear you. I understand. Just give me one moment.
I'm gonna pause.
Okay. We are back. Apologies for the phone call. No, yeah, what I was saying was that yeah, I was a very stubborn person. There may be some challenges at the beginning with establishing it as a habit, but I urge you to stick through it. It's incredibly deep. It has been useful in so many situations in my life. It has allowed me to turn my life from something that I wasn't happy with at all, and I knew very deep down that I wasn't happy with, and I didn't know where I was going, and change it into something that allowed me to have a very happy and fulfilling life, and something that I really, really enjoy and am looking forward to the future. So it's really, really amazing. So I urge you to give it a shot. I guess I am saying in a way, buy the book, buy the book, buy the book. But my, you know,
That's by the
but in
book.
reality, no, it's a very, very profound practice, and it's something that is I cherish and I'm grateful for every day.
Thank you, Jordan. And I will say, in case anyone's listening, the book is the way that it works. If you read, it's the yellow book, by the way. If you read Self-Parenting, The Complete Guide to Inner Conversations, that outlines the system, the logic. It gives you 2 weeks to practice. And then from there, you contact the website and you can do further work as you go. So I do thank you for this. I hope it's helpful for people out in YouTube land. And I'm going to say goodbye and stop recording.